All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I think it's a very bright afternoon where we are again showcasing somebody that we found in our Outlier series from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. So again, before we will introduce this person, I and Dr. Tumsia, who is Farm Alerts Community Engagement Manager, will be explaining to you, maybe basically from her anyway, but with support from me, how we got to where we are, what are the criteria we look out for. First of all, for the purpose of people who are just watching, we'll be explaining what the Outlier Award is, what we're looking out for in the person we are to choose, how we go about our selection process, then ultimately we will now be talking about how we came to find another gold in Usman Danfodio University. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining today's Outlier series. And then let's welcome Dr. Maimuna Tumsia Man Isa.
You decided to come it the other way today.
Yes, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. You have two new outliers now. How does it
Yes,
feel?
it feels good. And I'm not trying to be gender biased here.
Well,
It actually feels very good.
well,
Very good.
people are really going to accuse you. You know,
But I think people need to understand at this point that women are actually born to lead. It's just that unfortunately, the society is a patriarchal one, and great.
Well, we know, doctor. We know women do a lot of work, and then we know women do great stuff. And then
Yes.
we are happy that women are also topping the list. But I promise you, we will do everything possible to ensure that we come up. Okay, oh, I think she left. But we'll see how we can quickly get her back up. So good afternoon. It's Dr. Tumsia. We're expecting to come up very strongly so that we can continue this masterclass. Two women now for our outlier. The first, Dr. Nancy Eniotu. Then we, of course, have another outlier that is Dr. Amina. And then we are almost being accused that hope we are not gender biased. Okay, I think she's back. Yes, Dr. Tumsia, we lost you.
Yeah, sorry, network.
No,
One minute you're here, the next you're gone. Yeah.
No, it's fine. So tell us what your experience has been with the Outlier award, and then where are we now?
Okay. So, we were just right here let me say some 6 weeks, 8 weeks back to introduce the Outlier, and let the entire world know what the Outlier Award is. And we clearly stated that, as the name implies, Outlier, something out of the ordinary. Like we have graduates being awarded ordinarily based on academic excellence. Of course, we support that, we acknowledge that, we recognize that, and above all, we applaud that. But then we just realized that there is more to people than just excelling academically. So as to why, the Outlier Award came in the first place. So we chose a few things to look out for, which we did set as criteria for selection. And overall, I think everybody has seen the flyer, and on it we clearly wrote, leadership and creativity. Qualities. There are other attributes we're looking out for in the person. Somebody with a vision, somebody with like a blend.
Okay, so I think the network also caught up to her, but again, she's trying to explain the concept behind the Outlier Award. Kaduna network can be somehow, I've also told her to call me to Lagos because that's where we have everything running maybe slightly smoothly or a little bit better. If you're just joining, we are on the second series of our Outlier award, and we have just returned from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, to get somebody we thought also exhibited the quality we wanted. Okay, so Dr. Tumsia is back, so she will just continue. Go ahead, Doc. We missed you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, my
No, it's
network.
fine.
Yes. So as I was saying before the network interrupted, and so we clearly stated on the flyer, we're looking out for people with leadership and creativity skills, but it's a little bit. There's really more to that, and then it's a blend of amazing attributes. We're not just looking for leaders, but we're looking for genuine leaders, people who are actually selfless, a blend of a strong disposition, a good heart, somebody who is strong-willed. So let me say I'm directing this because part of the selection process is rolling out a nomination form where the graduates, like the about inducted doctors, are given the opportunity to nominate 3 people who they feel have these things. So I would say my explanation is majorly that is more to them, so they can understand, because I think some people still don't understand why, and why we chose who we did. But then I feel it's better we come out and explain further. So I know that, yes, but in school, when they say leadership, when we hear about leadership, a lot of us just think about people who have assumed class representative roles, people who have been presidents of the AVMS or any of the associations in school, or hall reps as Amina, and things like that. But then there's really more to just being a leader. There are actually great leaders. There are people who are great, like they're great leaders. We acknowledge that too. But then we need people who are selfless, people who are genuine, people who really want to give, like people who want to do things not because they feel they have anything they stand to gain anything, but because they know they're doing what they're doing for the betterment of the general public. So to my graduating doctors, we have back leaders in your class. You have to look out for them. They're actually great people amongst you. But then, yes, how would you know they're leaders if they haven't assumed any leadership roles? But they might not necessarily be pinned to a particular role. But there are people in your class that when they speak, whether they're class reps or not, whether they're AVMS presidents or not. I had somebody in my class, and we ended up naming the person Egbon, because he was never our class rep, he was never the AVMS president, but we had so much respect for him. And he was somebody who actually, was a leader. And I'll call him an elderly statesman. Then in class, yes, he was what he is still is to me. So I'm just trying to make this a little bit fun. There are great people amongst you, even those who are the class reps and those who are the AVMS presidents. I'm not doubting you. I'm not saying you're not a great leader, but we're not just looking for leaders. We're looking for genuine, selfless, strong-willed, and good-hearted human beings. And I'm sure, um, like after all I have said, people will understand why we chose who we did, because it's not just the nomination. We have the nomination process, and then we schedule an interview with the top 3 nominees, where we invite revered personality who we trust their judgment to join us, not just the Farmalat team, to join us and listen to their stories. And the questions we ask are not prepared questions. They are not questions you can come up with prepared answers, because we're asking you questions like, what are your core values as a human being? From there, you've started saying things that are actually making sense. And then making sense or not. It depends. And we're asking you your experience as a leader, things you've done, how you did it, your challenges. And, that is where, we just don't listen to we trust me, after the interview, we have it recorded. We go back and listen to it over and over and over again. So I want people to understand, yes, we want leaders, we want creative souls, we want innovative people, but then the leadership is what we actually need, because I keep saying, let's take Dubai for an example. Why Dubai is where they are today is because they had good leadership. They have good leadership, and they still do. So that is what we need. So we need selfless and genuine leaders. I hope with this little story and explanation of mine,
You're convinced?
Let me talk like my secondary school debate. I hope I've been able to convince you and
are not confuse you. All right, Dr. Tumsia, a very nice one. So, just as a way of capping what she has said, the Outlier Award, it's meant to recognize leadership. So we think in the veterinary community and Nigeria as a whole, we have a leadership crisis. So we have people who occupy positions, but ultimately their position doesn't translate to change in other people's life. So we are looking out for somebody who has maybe occupied a position, maybe not, but again, the position is always encouraged, right? But who has done something to enhance other people's life, right? So if you come in and there are people in a class, right? They might not be the best in that class academically. They might not even be that noticed. But when you check their story, you will find act of leadership, but more importantly, act of selflessness. They live and ensure that whoever is in their circle, because there's no, if you're talking about leadership and the people you're leading doesn't get better, and then we are talking about greed here. We are not talking about
leadership.
There are people who have very strong will, who occupy positions, but yet they use that positions to enrich themselves. And in this Outlier Award, we are looking out for people who both have the position but use the position to help others. For us, that's our basic definition of being an outlier. So you finally selected somebody in Sokoto.
Yes.
But again, back to the gender thing, right? Somebody said, are all our outliers female? Then I really don't know what I said. Is Dr. Tumsia?
I don't think you're literally throwing me on that.
Well, I said this you.
I wouldn't say the outliers will entirely be women, but then time will tell. But I just want people to have it at the back of their mind that women are actually great leaders.
Yes.
And women by nature are selfless.
Well, we too are selfless. We too.
Women by nature are selfless.
We too we are selfless.
Excuse my gender.
We too we are selfless. All right, so thank you, Dr. Tuntia, for providing that. Let's now invite the star girl. That's I'm coming just a moment. We're going to be inviting the proposed awardee for Usman Danfodi. We've had that for Michael Okoro University, Dr. Nancy, and then we are now having another person from Sokoto, Dr. Usman, Dr. Amina Umar. Am I correct?
Amina Ummi.
Oh, Amina Ummi Garba. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, good to have you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
But something really got to me. You were not expecting to win. Why?
Okay, so I should say those I was nominated together with that I knew got interviewed along with me were also good leaders. They've been good, so I never expected to emerge also.
So again, but so you're also a good leader, right? Or you think you're a poor leader? You think you're a bad leader? Do you think you're a bad leader?
No. I don't think I was a
Okay,
bad
so
leader.
okay, I will get to that in a bit. So tell us, what position have you had? Tell us a little bit about the positions you've had and your leadership journey in Usman Danfodio University.
From my year one, I've been the assistant class rep through graduation. At my year one, also I represented my class AVMS, class committees. Then I've also been the vice president AVMS. Then the hall governor of
Okay.
my final year.
So, so talk to us. All those leadership positions, you're a woman, and I know the condition in the north, right? We always give attention to the male folks, right? So I think maybe with the perception that some of us are just natural. All right, so we want to apologize. We're slightly off, but we are back. All right, so Dr. Amina, so you were talking us through. I said, so why do you have to?
When,
Yes, Amina, can you hear?
yes, I can.
Okay, all right. So good to have you back. All right. So I said in our culture, sometimes it's difficult to have a female front some of these things. So what gave you the courage to go after these positions and also still deliver your best?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Okay,
Can you
so I
come again?
said in our culture, it's difficult to get a lady to go over these positions and survive, right? Especially in the
Yes.
north. So what gave you the courage to still pursue what you're doing, and then you gave it your best?
They've always been a common adage that says whatever a man can do, a woman can do it better. Even if it's not better, at least she can do the way a man can do. So I use that to continue on with my leadership. Because I believe there was a time, I was it in my year four, when our class rep dropped down and I was the acting class rep. I went to settle some issue at the dean's office, and one of our lecturers saw me and he was like, they can never be a female class rep. A female can never be allowed to be a class rep." So that was why another voting was done to replace a class rep to be a class rep. I was
somebody,
like, what a man can do, a
somebody
female
actually
can
told
also
you
do.
a female can never be announced
Yes,
as a class rep.
yes. I was told so.
And so how did you feel when they told you that a female can never be announced as a class rep?
I was like, leadership is leadership. There's nothing like female or male. There's no gender attached to any leadership.
Mm.
Well, whoever has a leadership quality should just be allowed.
All right, so again, I think we are having quite a handful of troubles with the network today. We just hope that we can pull through. All right, so welcome back, Dr. Amina.
Thank you.
But again, I'm curious about your background, right? Despite you had all this struggle, that somebody even told you a female can never be announced as class rep, you still went ahead. So where did you get this? Because so to be honest, right? I think what motivated us and gave us the courage to announce you as the winner, because there were a lot of issues. First of all, you were not among the first three, right? So you were the fourth person. You were the first highest. So when I saw the pattern of voting, Dr. Tumsia had to advise us that I think we should get in. We should get you in and interview you. And when we did the interview, it was very obvious that your own story connected. Your own story gave us exactly what we wanted in a leader, right? So you've been in a system that is maybe, I wouldn't want to use the word suppressive, especially for us in Nigeria, but you still had the courage to do what you did. I'm still going to go down the details of what you did. I'm just waiting for a much more later time. But where did you get this attribute from? I'm curious. Where did you get it from? Your dad, from your mom?
Seriously, I don't know. Maybe from my mom, maybe from my dad.
Mm,
They've never. I don't also know. Or
mm,
maybe it's just nature.
mm.
What I know is that I've always lived my life fearlessly. Even in school, I don't usually have that tension whenever they want to pace results or when we have exams. I don't get tense. I know whatever will be will just be. So
All right. So tell us, you had a position as hall governor. What were the toughest challenge you faced as hall governor?
I should say a lot, but the toughest one was when I actually by my junior colleague. But Alhamdulillah,
Mm.
it's now history.
You got threats from your colleagues?
My colleagues were very very supportive.
Okay.
They were
You said
very
you got
supportive.
what? I didn't get your last statement.
They said when my position was almost abused by a junior colleague of mine,
Mm, mm.
vet junior colleague for that matter, but it's gone now. Though a lesson has been learned. I've learned a lesson out of it though.
Mm, mm, mm. So again, but again, you survived all through all those challenges. Am I correct?
Yes, I did.
Mm, mm.
I've
You're
grown
with,
stronger.
you're a very strong woman. Mm. So tell us, so what do you really think about leadership now as a person? What do you think? In your own definition, if you are to define leadership, what will you define leadership as?
I would say leadership is just should just be about you trying to meet at least, let's say, because we can never meet the expectation of humans 100%, but at least you should be someone that people, maybe let's say 80% or 90% of people can always look out to represent them. And one should always try to be fair in whatever he's doing to himself and also the society that are looking up to him.
Mm, mm, mm. Do you consider yourself fearless? In your interview, we kept on hearing you say that
Confident,
someone, somebody is fearless, somebody is fearless, somebody is fearless.
confident.
Do you consider yourself as a fearless person?
I do have fears, but let me say,
Okay, so no, I didn't get your last statement. I think your inventor interrupted what you wanted to say. You said you do have
I can
fears.
I do have fear, but I think my confidence do override my fear.
My fears. Mm. You know, so again, for everybody watching, right? This Outlier Award has been an interesting thing for the team led by Dr. Tumsia, right? And then we've seen people, we've interviewed people. The selection process has been explained by Dr. Tumsia is that people's classmates, right, the graduates vote. We also give opportunities for the lecturers to vote and let us know who they think the leader in the class is, the person with the best influence, a selfless person who occupies a position. And then we pick out names and then we run an entire interview with them, sometimes 2 hours long interview. We watch those recordings again and we ask leading questions. Fortunately for us, in Usman Danfodio University, we had very strong contenders. At a point, I and Dr. Tumsia were now thinking, so who among these two should be an outlier? Right? We started analyzing their stories, looking vis-a-vis the criteria we have set. And I'm not having any sense of doubt that we made the right choice. Dr. Amina Ummi Garba has been an interesting personality. We appreciate what you have done. We appreciate who you are. More importantly, we appreciate that fearless part of you. that that fearless part of you. You know, one of the stories you gave that is somehow sometimes difficult to go and confront lecturers. Tell us about that story. Don't worry, you've gotten your certificate, right? And then nobody is going to victimize you. So tell us about the story. How people, it's sometimes difficult to go and confront lecturers. Go ahead. And so, and now we are not encouraging confronting lecturers, right? We go frankly against it. What we are saying is that sometimes students need to be able to voice their opinion. We do that in business, right? And let me quickly explain this. So if a customer comes, we think lecturers are business owners that own and the school, and the customers are students because you pay school fees, right? So if a customer expresses concern, legitimate concerns, we don't call it confrontation in business, we call it feedback. So when we get feedbacks from the people that are supposed to be our customers, one of the key business success strategy is to pay attention to those feedbacks and then of course use that feedback to improve the system. I just wanted to get it clear so that anybody watching will not say that Outlier Awards, we are encouraging confronting lecturers. No, not exactly. We are just encouraging frank feedback given to lecturers just to ensure the systems are better. So you want to tell us, give us the story of how you think you were able to help whoever you're helping to see that the matters that concerns your class is being properly presented to the lecturers. Go ahead.
I believe there are ways that you can talk to leaders in a mannerful way and in an understanding way for them to get your point and also reasons with you. We shouldn't always just have a fear in us that okay, this person is my lecturer, and whatever I do, he can harm me. That depends on how you approach them. If you approach them in such a respectful manner and in such a mature way, they will reason with you and okay and get and help you get your this thing done. Whatever it is you approach them with, they'll get it done for you since they saw how you respected and approached them in a mannerful way and you talk to them in a mature manner.
But so why do you think sometimes people have fear in talking to lecturers?
Well, there've always been
Chase FIU.
scenarios in which
They
there've
don't want
always
to
been
fail.
scenarios
Go ahead.
some people were culprits of that. I don't know, maybe it was due to their way of approach that they felt culprits. Maybe they thought maybe their approach to their lecturers, or because they used to confront their lecturers, it gets them kicked out of the fact of the study line and the rest.
But
They
again,
have that fear. No one wants to, after we've come a long way, after series of tests, sleepless nights, reading, and when you know people are looking up to you at home to come out as a doctor they've invested in, and then along the way, just because you had an issue with your lecturer, you are now out of the school. So no one wants that. So always trying to avoid that.
you see, that was what we saw in you, right? Your ability to be able to balance respect and also still present your matter. Because leadership is all about solving problems, right? And the problems you don't confront, you cannot solve. And as I said initially, I still think we made the right decision choosing you because we saw in you somebody who will, help us confront. We have quite a handful of issues in the veterinary community. We are not saying you will overnight become a leader in the community, right? But we've seen traits in you, right, that can look at this problem head on and then see how you can, in quote, let me use your word, fearlessly, because you like fearlessly confront the issue and then still get things done. And honestly, that's really what we're trying to promote with the Outlier Award. For people who don't understand, pay attention to her, listen to her. You will see this courage in her to confront issues headlong. Now, tell me about your selflessness, because again, that's also a big issue or a big criteria I and Dr. Tumsia consider in picking you. You were not expecting to even be nominated, right? You even went ahead encouraging others to nominate others. Am I correct? Or you don't want
Yes.
to, or you don't want to talk about that? So why on earth will you be a leader, right? In your own capacity as a deputy class rep, and you still went out of your way not just to help yourself, right? You were helping others for the vote. So why will you do that?
I believe when one of us is happy, we should all we should all be happy, or we should be very supportive. When one is out there looking for our help, we should always help out. When we help each other, that's when we'll be able to get how can I even say it? I don't know how to say it.
Mm,
But helping others to make them happy will make us happy. Whatever we do, if our brothers are happy, our sisters, our family members, definitely will also be happy. Spreading happiness is just it's a
mm,
healthy way of living.
mm,
So he wanted it,
mm,
and I supported because I also know that he has a good quality. So I helped mobilize him.
mm. And,
And what are friends for?
mm,
We should always help out our friends.
mm, mm.
So
And
we
so,
are happy
so
we can
you
spread
see,
the love wherever they go.
so you see, Dr. Tunsia, that's really the most interesting part of you, right? Because of this core belief that when others are happy, you are happy. So you can imagine that we have you as a leader in the veterinary community or in Nigeria, right? Because we've seen the leadership that we have, right? They only make themselves happy. Because how on earth will you embezzle every money everybody should share? All the money everybody should share, right? So there's a new crop of leaders we want to promote. There's a new quality we want to promote. And that's why, despite you had a position, we are also looking out for selflessness. If others, you literally, in fact, when we called you to be interviewed, you said you were not even expecting to be called, right?
No.
You were
I
not
was
expecting it. Yes, exactly. But we saw along your storyline this habit of, hey, let's help this person. If this person moves forward, I'm moving forward, right? There's no better way of building a good society. And we want to say that these attributes or habits you're exhibiting, it's a noble habit. It's a noble attribute. And we want to encourage you, right, to keep it up.
thank you very much.
Because again, for us in the veterinary community, we need leadership as such. Leadership that becomes really very selfless, that take into cognizance what others are feeling. Maybe it could even be at the detriment of our own feeling, but we want to ensure that others move forward. So let me ask you, who do you admire in the veterinary profession?
My lecturers.
Okay, so which of them? And I hope he's watching you. So which of them?
Oh,
Or all of them?
Ah,
yes.
he
Or you
can't.
Because
don't want,
You can't do that,
or you don't
man.
want
He
to
can't
mention?
snitch.
they're always out there trying to make us good leaders, good students. We have those that do advise us on how we should tackle, how what we should take up to when we graduate from school. And those who tell us that when we graduate, we shouldn't just stay in the community waiting for government to employ us. We should know how to make a living for ourselves. So I do admire all my lecturers and my senior colleagues out there because we have a lot of them that also do encourage us to do things, and they also do help us out. So I admire every veterinarian out there.
All right, so that's a much more generous statement, right? That's really very generous. But again, I don't have a problem with it. So I'm going to give Dr. Tunisia like a few minutes to ask you a few questions and continue the engagement. But again, let's ask you if the Animal Health Farmer Lab were a social animal health enterprise. We've identified there are a lot of issues with the animal health in Nigeria. Weak veterinary surveillance system, right? Disease outbreak. You know about the bird flu? Yes. So farms are closing down. People are losing their investments. Uh, uh, people cannot even afford. The cost of inputs now is very high. People cannot afford to buy, and it's our industry. So our thought with the Outlier Award is to start finding people like you, right, with courage, who is fearless, and then who is also selfless. Because you need a combination of that two to solve major issues. People who are selfless but are fearful will not dare any problem. People who are fearless but are self-full, right? We dare those problems, we take advantage of the opportunity, and they will not even be concerned whether another person is happy or not. So you're, in quote, based on the Outlier Award, you're fearless and you're selfless, right? Which issue in the animal health industry do you think you would love to tackle?
It should be let's say control of disease spread, because it is the most drastic thing that will happen to anybody who is out there fully dealing with production or it being a means of living. Because when there are disease spread, nothing can be done. You wouldn't have the mind to embark on any production, breeding, or just keeping or rearing animal, breeding animals, selling animal products, because you definitely not have those who patronize you, because there's no one who is out there engaging himself in animal health, animal breeding, or the rest. So just control of disease spread is just the most vital thing to be tackled.
And then we're happy to have you on board in Farm Alert, right? I know you'll be spending. I'm still going to ask you where you want to go to, Lagos or Abuja, right? But for your 1 month internship. But let me handle Dr. Tunsia. You want to ask her any question?
Yes, sir. I enjoyed her story. Like, it's relatable. I went to Sokoto, and I was the hall rep during my time. So her story is relatable. So it's interesting. And I would say it's really a challenging role because being a hall rep, you're not just leading veterinary students. You have the medical students, you have the medical laboratory science, you have nursing and radiology, a list of them. So, Amina, I admire you because you do sound fearless. Let me put it that way. And for somebody to be fearless, and survive Usman Danfodio University, that's good. You tried.
Yeah.
You tried. Because a lot of people just go out, like everybody's just like, let me just do as she said. Your parents have invested a lot, and you're scared of being victimized for airing your opinion, what you feel, what you think. So I'm glad you were able to pass your message. You were able to pass your message to the authorities in a respectful, as you said, and how did she even say it? Anyways. And you've been able to, get the work done at the end of the day, without disrespecting anybody. So it's admirable because we really need, we need people like you, people who can pass the message across, and get things done, be able to enhance lives, impact the entire community. And so, Dr. Amina, congratulations. We're proud of you, and I think I'll have to save your name and put fearless somewhere.
Yes.
Just somewhere. So every day, so any day I look at your name, I remember I have a fearless colleague.
Yeah.
I'm eager to learn through the ropes because I won't call myself a fearless person. I don't really know. So Amina, thank you so much. We're proud of you, and your classmates feel strongly about you in a good
Yes,
way,
exactly.
and that's why they nominated you. So keep up the good work. keep the fire burning. The veterinary community needs the likes of you. We need to get
Yeah.
ourselves out of this, excuse my words, mess we're in at the moment. And at the end of it all, regardless of the area of problems we list out, the jobs, the disease outbreak, the weak surveillance, here and there, the bottom line is it all boils down to lack of leadership. Because once we have good leadership in place, every other thing will fall in place. So, Amina, um, welcome on board and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right, so
You're
there are still
welcome.
2 more questions you're going to answer, but let me read a few comments. People who are congratulating you. So if you know Dr. Amina and then you're watching live and you want to say something to her, I'm going to be reading out comments now. Just go to your comment box and then say something. Well, so some names I might produce. Okay, someone said kudos Dr. Tumsi. Hajara said, Hajara, you Sadiq said, congrats, Dr. Amina. Really proud of you. We have quite a lot of people who are proud of you. Onoja said great insight, meaning they appreciate the insight you're sharing. So this, I don't know if you know him, Mohammed Aisha Sarki, my sister, with four fires and heart of love. All right, so now I'm becoming really very jealous. Dr. Huda, I know her very well. Well done, Dr. Amina, truly a role model. Yes, because a lot of
Thank
people,
you.
they really want to be like you, to have emerged victorious in our leadership award. Okay, Dr. Tumsia, your sister is doing well. So again, really very nice. That's from Dr. Suleiman Gimba. So let's read this. Fauzi Omar Isa. She was indeed a good leader, because I can remember when I lost my money in the hostel. She's the one that got it back for me. Thanks. Oh, so you got the money back and you didn't take it. Well, really so nice. You can see a lot of people appreciated what you've done, and your good work. It's everywhere. So Abu Bakr Abdullah said, congratulations, Dr. Amina Ummi Garba. Let's say Ali Jidda said, congratulations, Dr. Amina Ummi. So it looks like a lot of people are congratulating you. Wow, my deputy class rep. That's from Adedoyin Olarewaju Ismail. All right, so that's really very nice. So still more comments coming in. Isa Rogo said, congratulations, Mama. All right, so somebody's calling you Mama. This is from from the Veterinary Council, Dr. Oladotun Fadipe, one of the senior registrars we have in the Veterinary Council. Congratulations to our deputy class rep and the outlier of UDUS Sokoto. Ladies are winning.
Thank you.
Well. I know Dr. Tunsia will be really very happy with these ladies winning it, but again, it's not a bias award. We look at their story, hear their story, and regardless of what any other person thinks, we award who we think deserves to be awarded. All right, so Nuruddin Abdullah Liba said, congratulations, Dr. Amina Ummi Garba. Very, very, very proud of you. So I have an interesting comment I want to bring. Blue Blood Veterinary, that's Dr. Bala Mohammed. He's the vice president of the council. He said we should send you. I'm coming to that question anyway. He said we should send you to him. But again, you can see we are all now fighting for you. Nobody wants to see, because one of the reasons why business collapse is because we don't have a self-starter like you. Somebody with courage to make decisions, but somebody also with a heart to act to ensure other people are better. You know, another thing that also caught our attention with your story is that even in your idle moment, you were going to clinics to go and work and serve. Am I correct?
Yes.
So we have a combination of somebody who is good technically, somebody who has occupied positions and is able to combine those positions with academics, and then more importantly, somebody who also have the courage to also support others and ensure that they win. So we saw all these attributes flying here and there across your story, and we can't but, it got to a time. I was telling Dr. Tumsia, I said, the first outlier is a female, right? We need this person to be a male. But every time we judge the criteria, you came up top. Even at the point, I was asking Dr. Tumsia, are you sure people feel like we are actually doing the right thing? And we had to conclude that whatever it takes, regardless of what people think, right, we will do the right thing. And I want to tell everybody watching, the Outlier Award is not political. We ask people to nominate, we look at their story, watch their story, and whoever it is that we announce as the outlier, you will see a combination of a true leader who has served his people selflessly. We are going to be going, Abuja is next, Ibadan is next.
Yay.
We are again going to be looking out for somebody who has this attribute. And we are going to be using our platform to promote that person. So, Dr. Amina, 2 more questions, right? The first question, before the last question, it's, if you have an advice for young veterinarians or student veterinarians out there, you've been able to combine all these things and you've been able to make it work, what will that be? What advice would that be?
Okay. My advice is that whatever we are doing, we should just trust in ourselves. We should have that trust and develop self-confidence both within us and outside us and show it. And we should always try to encourage each other and one another and support each other strongly. We should keep the bond because we need a stronger bond, especially the veterinary family, in which people usually used to say doctor of chicken, doctor of goats, or whatever. We need to develop that confidence and bond and show them that no matter how important human life is, animals' life is also very important because the way we were created, that was how they were also created, and their life matters. So we should always have trust in it.
I won't be surprised if one day you emerge the president of the Veterinary Council. I would love. So, a woman is the president of the council. Do you know AIJ Aisha Abubakar Baju? She's
Yes,
also
I
as
do.
fearless. Yes. Fearless, progressive, and then one of those good things that has ever happened to the council. And then I see a lot of your traits. I see a lot of what you've exhibited, and I correlate it with what has moved us forward in the veterinary profession. And I honestly think that one day you will make us extremely proud. The Outlier Award
Okay.
has brought you in the open. We know people like, see now, Dr. Bala said we should send you to her. I'm still going to ask that final question.
I saw that comment. I saw that comment. And I'm like,
I'm still going to ask you that final question. But you see, everybody wants a leader. Nobody wants a burden. Everybody wants a leader. And we know that these traits that you have exhibited will take you really, really very far. I'm just going to read 2 more comments and then I'll ask you the final question. Dr. Sumideman, fearless Amina and fearless Tumsia, Niger product. Are you Dr. No! Are you from Dr. Amina? Are you from Niger? Oh, she's frozen. Maybe her network.
yes, she's from Niger.
And Dr. Bala Mohammed is also from Niger.
Yes, yes. So you see the
now
bond
I
is
see
very
the
strong.
connection.
Very
Now I
strong,
see the
very
connection.
strong.
All right, so that's good to know. Then Abdul Majid Mohammed says, congratulations, Amina Ummi. Everybody is happy, but she needs to come back. I guess her network is having a little issue because she needs to help us with the final question. We need to know where to take her to.
Where she wants to go to,
yes,
right?
where she wants to go. But Dr. Tumsia, Aren't you happy? Aren't you proud of your selection?
I am proud now that the whole thing is out.
Yes, yes, yes.
She's a Nupe sister.
Ah! No, Dr. Tunisia, no,
Please
no.
don't. I
Order,
wasn't. Don't. Please don't
order.
think it was part of what actually. It did not at all affect my judgment at
okay, so
all.
I
It
know about
didn't.
that. I know
But then I
about
have
that.
to feel. But I have to be proud. I am proud. You know how it is. I think the Nupe people are actually known for that all over the world. I think the
No,
Nupe people are known for that.
no,
So
no,
I'm
no,
actually
no, no,
proud.
no, no comments.
And then the fact that we were able to pick up this talent, this person, without them going unnoticed. I am proud to be part of a team doing something great, changing the narrative, and truly, truly impacting lives. So that's about it. Is Amina back online?
No, no, she's not. She's not bad. But again,
Okay.
Dr. Timsia, this is what I see. What you're doing is going. You know, you have two projects you're working on: the Aspire project and then the Outlier Award. I'm beginning
Yes.
to see that the implication of what we are doing with this Outlier Award will begin to surface in the nearest future. Because
Definitely. Most definitely.
one of the big problem with looking out for leaders is because good people like Dr. Amina, right? They don't advertise themselves, right? And the society is really slightly very brutal. You can imagine a lecturer or somebody telling her that she knows that there's no way a lady can be the class rep, right? And I understand those cultural things, and I honestly acknowledge and recognize culture. I think in Africa we shouldn't lose our culture. But in addition to that, I also think we need to prioritize productivity, right? If somebody can do the job, right, having to put the person back based on gender will not be like a very good thing. And of course, we need to also acknowledge her persistence. Being the deputy class rep, uh, supporting two class rep within the space of 2 years, being the governor, being among select committees, handling her work, handling her project, and also the ability to also graduate with all this workload and emerge successful. I think it's something of we should know, and I won't be surprised if all outliers are beginning to take within another 3, 4, 5, 10 years take prominent positions, because
Positions.
again,
Yes.
who would have recognized her? Who would have recognized that? She would just be you. So again, look at what happened during the oath taking. Why we still wait for her? I really need her to come up so that we can close this. No, like even when we announced her name, she didn't expect that she would be called, because over time she has expected that she would do good work and other people will be rewarded, right? So she was out. But we recognized her. We saw this selfless, fearless trait. We recognized that, and now she's in the open, and everybody wants her. And if for nothing, I think this outlier award, it's something the veterinary community needs to be proud of. And to you, Dr. Tunsia, I want to say directly to you, well done, good job.
Thank you very much, sir.
As the popular person, we say you're doing well. And then we want to
Yes.
also acknowledge that this thing that you've started in Abuja, we're also looking out for another outlier to take the message across. This year, based on the number of vote taking that we're expecting, we are expecting to have a minimum of 8 to 10 outliers, and we can bet you that all these outliers will be quality products that we all can really be proud of. Dr. Amina Umim has still not come up, but we need to ask her the popular questions we ask, because we need to be sure of where she's going to. And then, all right, so we're back up. As I said initially, we're just expecting, okay, Dr. Amina Umim. All right, so welcome back. I guess it was network. So let's ask you
Yeah.
the magic question. Lagos, Abuja, where we want to be. So no, I think uniquely you have three options, right? You have Lagos, you have Abuja, but Abuja you have two options. Dr. Bala has just offered you his place, and then of course we are also coming up with a very strong place to a veterinary hospital in Abuja. So where we want to be? The options, so you have Lagos, you have Abuja. First of all, in between Lagos and Abuja, where we want to go to?
I
Tell me,
think
Lagos.
Abuja is much more closer.
When you are fearless now. You are you are fearless. You don't want to come to Lagos. Where we want to be?
I even thought it was Lagos was the only location that was available. So
Yes, it used
for
it.
Lagos, I was still.
Okay, so you've not said anything. So it's not just Lagos. Uh, it's not just Lagos. It's not just Lagos. It's Lagos and Abuja. So we have our head in Abuja. In Abuja. So you have both options available, and either of those options, we are also very heavy with technology. So you could have your role done, and it could be done in any locations that you want. So what will you prefer? Which of them will you prefer?
Let me still have time to think. I haven't decided.
you
But
you haven't
just knowing
decided.
about this option, so
Mm. Oh, so but your colleague, the first outlier, she's coming to Lagos. That one we have decided. And so when are we expecting to hear from you? How long will it take? Tomorrow to hear where will you come?
yes,
All right.
tomorrow.
So we will hope to hear from you tomorrow. So I said Dr. Tums, Dr. Amina, we're proud of you.
Sir, thank you very much.
The
I hope
veterinary.
I'm able to keep making all that have been looking up to me proud.
Don't worry about that. Just be yourself. That's what I've realized. Sometimes our expectations regarding people could be up there, but once you be yourself, so we try as much as possible to pick people who are natural with the ideas that we want, and we have a way of also knowing whether somebody, because you could say something from your head, or you could say it from your heart. So the selection process helps us to figure out exactly, after all is said and done, who do we believe can deliver on this? And we picked you out because we think you're natural with the ideals that we're trying to promote. And we know, regardless of what happens, you're going to make us proud. So, on behalf of Farmalat, and then, of course, Dr. Tumsia, we want to thank you for being part of it and also congratulate you. And then, of course, welcome you to the Farmalat community, where all we focus on is looking out for ways of solving the numerous animal health challenges that we have. Once again, a big congratulations to you, Dr. Amina. And then,
Thank you very much.
I'll see you.
Looking up
Let
watching
me see if
you
I
all.
have more comments. Okay. Okay, so somebody said she's also vice president of AVMS during her study. So you were also vice president, right?
Yes.
All right. So a lot of people are now making comments around that. So thank you very much, and we appreciate everything you do. I will see you
Thank
either
you.
in Abuja or in
Thank
Lagos. So
you.
have a wonderful afternoon, Amina.
Thank you.
All right.
Same to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.